everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. In this episode, I'm going to be using both the Audi TT Coupe and the Audi TTS for their new engine swaps for Tokyo 600. If you guys didn't know, I recently pulled out a poll yesterday and look at the stats. 400 votes in total, and most of you guys want me to first do the Audi. And you can see second place is the F1 E-Space. The Skittles in third, and of course the last part is the Toyota RAV4. So after this swap, we'll move over to the E-Space after we get done with the Audis. But so this episode is going to be using both the Audis. I'll be showcasing both engine swaps and be showcasing both builds and races to give you a general idea and some feedback on what to expect with these builds. These particular builds, I would really highly recommend giving them a shot at both Tokyo and Le Mans. They're going to be both very dominant and very helpful and useful for both these races. I can pretty much guarantee it. So I'll be showcasing on how to get these cars, the swaps, and of course the general builds, the parts you'll need for both cars, the setups, and of course both races, just to give you an idea. So hopefully this help out. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the episode. So the first step, of course, is going to be acquiring both cars in this game. And then surprisingly, you can actually win these cars for free at the random mini game, or you can simply pick them up at Brand Central. These are actually the first two cars you see in the Audi Brand Central. Here's the first one, the Audi TT Coupe Quarto from 2003. Very iconic look car. Has been in a couple of games back in the day of the mid-early 2000s, as you would expect. There's the stats right there, just in case if you're wondering what it is stocked. There's the TTS Coupe from 2009. Slightly more expensive, just by a slight margin. And there's the stats on that car as well. Now, the very first car I'm going to be using is going to be the 03 version first. So if you want to go ahead and if you want to fast forward to the 09 TTS Coupe, you're more than welcome to do so if you want to do that car instead of the 03 version. So after you acquire one of the two cars or both cars, the very first step we're going to be taking, of course, is going to car customization. So the very first step here is I'm going to go ahead and get this car wide-bodied because it actually lowers the overall general points just by a little bit. It's not a major, huge point difference, but as I've mentioned several times in the past, every point matters, especially when it comes to that Tokyo 600 race. So after we add in the wide body, we are going to be looking to this particular engine swap as I covered in my live stream the other day. And if you're curious on how to buy an engine swap, you have to be at least collector for level 50, which is a hot pink number on the top right screen. I'm currently level 70, and that's the reason why I can buy certain swaps and certain ultimate parts for cars. But the particular engine, of course, is from the legendary Group B Quarto Pikes Peak engine or car. So if you do have the funds and if you are level 50, you'll be able to actually buy this. If not, you can always go to your home. I'll recommend just pause the episode, look up and see if they have that engine model at your house, and you can just simply click on it under tuning parts. It should be a little engine ticket or a little engine thing you can click on. Click on it, say yes twice, and you can get yourself a free swap if you do have it. Here's the livery I'll be using for this race. You can search the hashtag, or you can simply do this instead. If you guys like to follow me in the game, here are the instructions right here. Just go to Showcase, search my name up, click on a car with a livery, which is a custom style, which I do sometimes build. Click on my profile picture, click on the user page, and then finally click on the blue follow button. And just by doing that, you'll be able to follow me in the game. That way you have to go to my newsfeed for any liveries that will help you out. Now, the reason why you want to follow me in the game is because I do share the liveries I have on my cars, and that way you can easily search it rather than just manually searching it on the keyword. You can simply just follow my profile, click on my newsfeed, and do it like that. Here are the parts from this particular livery. If you want it on your car, here are the rims, just in case if you're wondering what it is. After that, the front bumper is going to be Type A. After you get that acquired to the car, if you're wondering what the next part is, it's going to be the side, Type A once again. And then for your final custom part for this car, it's going to be, of course, the wing. It's going to be custom wing set. Just in case you don't want this Red Bull livery, but you want your own livery, then those are the parts right there that you can add to that car. Once you get all those parts together at car customization, you can leave there And now we can go to the setup. This particular setup is going to be pretty technical, not going to lie. Sport hard tires is what you'll need. Suspension, keep it normal. Differential, fully customized. That's going to really drop your PP points, by the way. I really recommend getting the torque filtering sensor. Otherwise, the car will not respond right. So you definitely need that part. Downforce, just go ahead and copy what you see right there. Ballast, of course. Copy the ballast with the power restrictor. Fully customized manual transmission at that particular number in the kilometers, and that'd be it for the front page. Back page, nothing really back here other than the racing clutch and flywheel with weight reduction stages 1, 2, and 3 with increased by rigidity, and that is going to be it for the car. So that torque filtering differential, which I did point out earlier that you really do need for that part, if you do not have it, this car will act like a front wheel drive car, which is quite weird that it does that. So I didn't really know for sure what was causing to not really have traction, but apparently if you have that torque filtering differential gear, make sure you have it. Otherwise, the car will not respond right. Now, if you're curious on how the performance of the car is, as you did see, we did manage to move the weight to more like a 51-49 type of weight ratio. You're going to have a little bit of understeer, but it's not really as noticeable compared to, let's say, a GTR or an NSX. The car actually does feel pretty good, as you can see. There's a little bit of oversteer too. It's not majorly huge, but you can tell by the way the car actually does slide a little bit in the corner. And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I've known in the past that all-drive cars usually would tend to have a pretty bad understeer effect, and that's kind of the reason why I did like that. Tried to kind of steer it a little bit, and that's why there's going to be a little bit of rotation from the back of the car. Plus, we have a lot of rear downforce too in the car. That's what's also causing the car to get pretty loose from the rear end as well. But as you can see from the first lap, we're looking pretty good actually. We've just easily passed the GTR. We're going to make a nice move on the old Gen Impreza. And right in front of us, of course, is the duo of the Ria Mia and the classic Supra as well. So our first lap looking pretty promising. As long as we do find a way to pass these two cars right in front of us and make tracks on the race leader, then this is going to be overall generally a very nice build. Now, the way the car reacts in certain corners, yes, there is going to be a tiny bit of understeer, but other than that, the car felt really good. It felt really grippy. I would say, though, the thing that might be its biggest weakness is going to be the brakes. The brakes, of course, is stocked, so you might want to brake a little bit earlier, especially with those really heavy braking corners. But you can see out of that corner on that hairpin, probably the most technical, trickiest corner of the game. Took it very well, and you can see right there, had a really good apex, really good speed out of the corner, and easily find ourselves right in second place to end the very first lap of this race, and it's going to be a pretty quick 2:18. So once you see that lap time, 2:18, 2:19, you know for sure this is going to be a very promising run. One lap later, we're going to do the same thing we did lap prior, make a move on the NSX at the tunnel and get ourselves the race lead. After that, we're going to go ahead and fast forward to lap number 4. It's going to be our official hot lap for this race. I'm going to let you guys have this hot lap, and I'll be right back to finish up this very first race. And as you guys may notice, one very important crucial thing is this car was able to make this race without making a pit stop. And you can see the pace overall was pretty good. We managed to do a 25:35 for our total time. So if you do in fact have this car and engine, I really recommend giving it a shot. There's the total time and the results right there. The car drove very smoothly, very quick, had some really good race pace overall. So very pleased overall of how it turned out. Got ourselves that sweet clearance bonus, and that's going to be it for the first race. For the TTS Coupe, after getting the car, we're going to go ahead and do the same stages. We're going to go ahead and get the wide body installed for the car. Should be at the same price, about 25,000 credits, so it should be a pretty small fee to that first stage. And of course, after you get that wide body in, the next stage, of course, is going to be the engine swap. As you guys remember, this particular car has the same engine swap as the first car we did. So it's going to be pretty much of a close copycat. The only thing different is this car actually has more points given compared to the very first car. We only are allowed about 3 points, give or take, after we get the wide body installed and the engine swap for this car. So after you get this particular engine swap installed to the car, here is the livery I'll be using for this race. And same thing goes from the first livery. You can search it up if you want to, or simply if you want to follow me in the game. I actually do have this in my news feed as of right now. Just make sure your car is set to wide already and you'll be good to go to get this livery. Now, if you do not want this livery, but you want to use your own livery or a different livery, then just like we did the first go round, here are the parts that you'll need for this car. The only thing different I did here was actually change the rims, and that's pretty much it. Front bumper, of course, it's going to be Type B for this livery. After you get that installed, if you're curious what the next part is going to be, it's going to be, of course, the side. It's going to be Type B once again. After that, a new part you're going to be added is going to be the rear. Make sure it's Type A. And this one will actually decrease your PP points, so make sure you do actually choose this one if you want that for it to be correct. And then for the wing, it's going to be Type B for the wing. And to finish it all up, for a technical part, you'll need roll cage Type C, and that's going to be all the parts you'll need from car customization for delivery shop. So after you get done with this particular step, we now are going to go to our setup. It's going to be the same as it was before. The only thing different here is going to be, of course, we add more weight to the car, and the power restrictor actually went down. The transmission for the fully customized manual transmission is 330 kilometers. You want to go ahead and copy the downforce as well. There actually is more rear downforce to this car compared to the last run, since we have a different rear bumper. That's the reason why that's that. But everything else should be about the same as it was in the first build. After you get that, the other part of the build is going to be slightly different. As you can see, we have, of course, the high RPM turbocharger equipped on this car. Weight reduction stages 1, 2, and 3 with increased biodiversity, and that is going to be it for this particular car. So this time around, we actually do have a turbocharger equipped on the car, which is something a little bit different, and you'll be able to tell a huge difference whenever you actually do this race in this particular run. And trust me, this car is going to be even faster than our very first run. So this is going to be a great car to use for both this track and also for Le Mans, especially for those long straights. So for this particular run, compared to the first run, the only thing I could tell that was a bit different was, of course, the fuel. So you might have to do some fuel management, or if you can't make it on fuel, you can always go to the pit road and refill your fuel. You can do that if you want to do that method. The other thing also to take note is, just like we did the first run, the brakes are still stocked, so you might want to brake a little bit earlier too. And the car actually handled, I think, a bit better, in my opinion, for this car than it did with the 03. And I think the reason why is because there's a 6-year span difference. So it probably has to do something with it, maybe a little bit, but I think the main difference is because of us having the rear bumper option as to the car. And you can already see already in the top 5 already, and we haven't even gone through the halfway point as of yet. We're going to make a move on the Impreza, easily going to make ourselves P4. So right when we're about to be the halfway mark, we should be at around 4th, 3rd place, somewhere around there. So I could already tell in the beginning of this run now that this was going to be even faster than our first run. Going through this couple corners, we're going to carefully navigate both the Rear Mia and the Supra. Now for the Supra, we have to actually let off the gas a little bit, brake, and make a swift move to the right side, which actually was just completely perfect right there. Being able to do the little switchback on it right there. We're going to go ahead and clear the Supra, and now right in front of us is, of course, the race leader, and we actually can see the race leader down the road. So we're actually not that too far off gap-wise compared to the race leader. We're going to brake once we see that very first yellow sign, which actually worked perfectly to our favor. We're going to go down the second gear, get back on the power, and the car, it just takes off very well through that last sector, which I know is a very tricky section to master with all kinds of cars at that turn. And you can see the gap is in fact closing down pretty rapidly quickly. And once we actually do get to the end of this long stretch, we actually will be able to look at the race leader very carefully. First lap is going to be a 2:16.7, so already about 2 seconds faster than our first run. And like I said before, we're going to be looking at the race leader as we get to the very first corner, and the speed is going to be the low 200s. So right then and there is going to be a huge difference between your car and the rest of everybody else's cars. So we are way over a lot faster compared to the rest of the grid in this race. After a couple of turns, we're going to go ahead and look at the leader once again, make a move, and we're going to take the lead a lot earlier than we did with our other build. And to tell you the truth, I was very, very stoked about this build, just seeing how good it was, especially in this run. Now, I did know the fuel was going to be a slight issue in this run, but I knew from the beginning I had to push as hard as I could, and then later in the race I had to think about a when to pretty much tone it down and trying to look after the fuel. So fast forward to lap number 4, it's going to be our official hot lap, and you can see from the right side of the screen, we are completely smashing these lap records. 2:05 was what we ran on lap 3, but this lap's going to be even faster. So just like we did in the first run, I'm going to let you guys see the hot lap, and I'll be right back when we get back from this hot lap. Alright, so as we fast forward to lap number 6 and lap 7, we actually have entered in phase 2. What I'm going to be doing here is going to go ahead and switch our free map back to down to 5, or up to 5, because I wanted to make sure this was going to be a no pit stop run. Thankfully, as we begin lap 11, we did manage to save enough fuel, so we're going to go ahead and move it back down to number 3, which I first thought would be the right action, but we can actually go back to number 2. And then once we were about halfway through lap 11, I could calculate that we had enough fuel to basically go all the way to free map 1, which you'll see in a second. And after doing that, we're in the clear just to run at the register on free map 1. and it was just completely perfection, just simply doing that. So as we finish the race, it's going to be even faster. It's going to be 25-24 for our total run, so a little bit faster than compared to our first build. So if you do have both cars in your arsenal, and if you do have the engine swap, if you can buy it, I would really recommend giving this a shot. There's the total time right there with the differential, or with the time difference right there. And unfortunately for us, we actually got the standard bonus, which I really wasn't too sure on how that was possible. We might have made contact, I guess, and got ourselves another successful build for Tokyo 600. So the next episode, as you can see here, is going to be, of course, the new Ferrari hypercar. I'm going to go back to Sardinia and give this car a shot and see what it can do for that particular race. So we got plenty of amazingly good content heading our way with both the hypercars and, of course, the new swaps. So stay tuned for those upcoming builds, and hopefully they will help you out to get some credits in GT7. If there's a particular build you'd like for me to try out, you're more than welcome to add your suggestions in the comments below, and I'll try my best to fulfill them. Until then, I'll see you guys later, and you guys take care. Thank you again for watching today's episode. Hopefully this particular tune has helped you out in Gran Turismo 7. If there is a particular build you'd like for me to try out, or a different race, car class, whatever it is, you're more than welcome to put any suggestions down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to do them. So if you guys enjoyed today's episode, why not go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well? It would be very much appreciated. Also, leave a like and share it. If you know somebody personally that is struggling to get a win at Tokyo Expressway 600, then you're more than welcome to share this episode, and hopefully it will help them out. Until then, I'll see you guys later, and have a great rest of the day or night for it might be, and be safe.